This is the Sports Card Man podcast for episode number 4. I am your host, Vinny Rulo. Today we're going to talk about what's happening in baseball, look ahead to some football, maybe talk some cards as well, preview what's to come as far as like some Hall of Famers coming for football next year. But let's get right into it. Let's open with the baseball. Right now, the talk of baseball is Aaron Judge, as he has now approached 46 home runs on the season, just on a historic pace. Everyone is going to now start talking about Judge if they haven't already. Multiple media outlets, multiple different people that cover baseball, not even outside the Yankees. So look for him to start, people zeroing in on Judge as far as like everyone talking about him. I think he does have a shot at passing Roger Maris, who hit 61 home runs in 1961. A lot of people still say that's the true home run record. McGuire had 70. Believe Sosa had 66 in 1998 as well. And then obviously Bonds had 73 in 2001. So some people still consider the single season record to be Maris. And then in some instances, Babe Ruth in 1960, or not 1960, when he hit 60, he had it in a few less games. So Maris did it in the 162 game season, and I believe Ruth, it was about 154. I forgot what year he hit 60, but some people say that Babe Ruth's record was still the record. But with that being said, it's still going to be very exciting to see Judge as he approaches the record. I believe he would have to average a home run every 3 games. It would be right now he's at 46, so I believe he's about 16 from breaking it, which it is possible. I could see it, but at the same time, I could see him falling short too. We'll have to wait and see. We haven't had anything happen like this in baseball where since probably 1998, where a player is approaching a historic record, and it's arguably the most I guess hardest record to break as far as like in a single season. Could Judge stuff see an all-time high as far as in cards? I think right now I would say Judge stuff is actually at the highest it's ever been. And back in 2017 when Judge was having his insane rookie season, Judge cards were, people thought then they were the highest peak, but right now I think Judge cards for sure are the highest they've ever been. I had mentioned previously about the Topps Chrome 2017 PSA 10. That card right now is about 230. I have seen some get even shilled up to 250. If he does, let's say, get close to the record, it could be a 350 card, maybe even 400. We'll have to wait and see. I have completely sold out of my Chrome Judge stuff. I had a couple of refractors. I had a couple of base Chromes. I would have kept maybe one of them, but the cases on them had, I think on a couple of the 10s, it had minor scratches on the case, and just decided to just cash in and sell it. But the refractor, though, was nice too, for sure. It had no issues on the case or anything like that. Another thing I wanted to point out about Judge was, on my @SportsCardMan Premium, which you can see in my profile on my main Instagram page, on @SportsCardMan, we had talked about to buy Judge his Bowman Chrome PSA 10 prospect card 2013. I believe in around January, February we posted it, and it could have been bought for around 1,000, 1,100, and right now those are 3,300 and going up every single day. So, if you were someone that was in the group, hopefully, or, if already a member of the premium, hopefully you bought that Judge. And, you still have it, or, you made some really good money on it for sure. But that's one of the benefits of being in the premium account, is that we not only post some stuff in the weekly page for free, but we're posting additional content for just premium members that have joined the premium to see these additional posts. And usually it's about 1 or 2 extra posts a week, and then you can buy it right then and there. So as soon as, similar to the basic post that or the basic page that we do, where you can buy something as soon as we talk about it or post about it, and then we give you a projection. We do the same thing on the premium, except it's a cost for $25, a one-time fee, and then that $25 fee gets you access to all the future posts, all the weekly posts that we do. Let's say 1 or 2 a week. Only the members that have joined will see those posts, and not on the actual main page. And on the main page itself, we still put out some free content as well, because we want to keep building more followers, and get more people to potentially that are interested in joining the premium as well. And we want to interact with more card people as well. The other thing too I should mention too is that next week I am launching a kind of a giveaway for breakers, so to speak. So I had mentioned previously that I am actively recruiting breakers to join the NTWRK network app, which you can also check out their trading cards Instagram as well. I'm still recruiting breakers to get on the app itself. So I'm going to put out a giveaway for a card, probably worth about either in the $50 to $100 range. And what that giveaway is going to be is that potentially anyone that joins the network app through me, goes on and actually sells something and goes on and does some streams, they will receive that card from me personally from getting on the app. So that's going to be something to look forward to next week. So we wanted to announce that today, and kind of get ready for that as well. But yeah, let's focus a little bit more now on baseball, because the season is winding down. Some key things I wanted to look at right now for the rest of the season. We spent a lot of time on Judge, so right now it's very tough to buy Judge stuff. Probably your worst time to buy him, I would say, just because the prices are going to get very high. If he does break the record, there still could be some room for profit. It just depends on which card you're looking at, or what you're willing to spend. But just be careful with that as well. One of my strategies right now that I've talked about in my book, which you can buy on Amazon, which is if you search Sports Card Man, a whole new ball game in Google, it should come up, as well as Amazon. We released that in 2019. So one of my strategies I'll share with you that I do right now for baseball as it gets closer to the end of the season is, you want to be looking to buy guys that are going to potentially be in the playoffs. You want to be buying people that prospects, as far as they might appear in the Arizona Fall League. So those are kind of the two things that I look for right now. So for instance, example, I'm sitting on a Freddie Freeman Topps Chrome PSA 10 rookie. It's a pretty low pop for Topps Chrome, not too many of them out there. It's about a 200, 225 card. So, if Freeman and the Dodgers make a big run, in the playoffs, it could potentially go back up near 300. But to me right now, is that a good card to be selling right now? As if you're this close to the playoffs, probably not. So you would, leave a little bit on the table. I think that's probably a 250 card all day. So if you get closer to, like, let's say 280, 300 on eBay for it, or you don't even have to sell it on eBay, that would be your example. So look to buy, teams that are going to be like in the playoffs. Obviously, the Yankees will be there. Obviously, the Dodgers will be there. The Mets will be there. Most likely, the Braves will be there. The Cardinals, the Padres. So teams like that kind of start zeroing in on some players that you think have some quick upside to go up in value, or players that will make a big postseason impact. So that's kind of like what my strategies are for the base as we get closer to the baseball season, right? Because what's going to happen is, if you invest in baseball of players that their season's only about 50 games or so left, so it's going to be very hard to still be able to make like quick profits, or quick potential resale type of guys. Like, you could still buy guys for your collection, but the season is winding down, and more people are transitioning to football right now, and then even so, then more people will start buying basketball and hockey too, as it gets closer to the start of those seasons too. So that's just something to keep an eye on, right? But I did want to mention this quick too about some different baseball cards too, and how it reflects to other sports and relates to other things too, right? So I had posted last weekend a dual graded Bernie Williams Topps PSA 10 rookie 10-10. So that means that the auto was graded a 10 and the card itself was graded also a 10, right? And these cards I had also wrote about in my book too. They are very underrated. They're called signed slabbed rookie autos. And what that means is, any player that, didn't have a certified auto rookie. So that would have meant like they started probably in like 1996, 1997 even. So, and then they were pretty much mainstream by like the late 90s, early 2000s. So any player that had, broke into, their prospective sport, let's say 1996 and before, or doesn't have a certified rookie auto. So you have, someone like Bernie Williams, his rookie card is 1990. He doesn't have a rookie auto. So essentially, what that meant was, if you wanted a rookie auto of him, you would have had to get his Topps card, bring it to a signing, get it signed, and then get it authenticated, get it graded, however you wanted to do it, right? And the dual grading actually costs now the most money, as far as like just grading, let's say just the auto, or grading. I've seen a bunch of different ways you can do it, or like PSA 10 auto, and then, or PSA 10 card and then authentic, or authentic card and then only the autos graded. But the dual graded ones are where it's at. So for instance, I had posted that Bernie Williams, and somebody bought it within 10 minutes that I posted about it. Just because it was such a low pop. I believe it was only 13 of those, in existence. So something like that was like way underpriced. Like the last sales were $450, 400 or 500 in the last couple too. So the person that got that, they did very well. They bought it for like $240 shipped, and we put that out for free. And we were just trying to tell people that, hey, this is something that nobody else is putting out this type of content, like where we're actually showing someone like a great buy right now, and making projection value as to why we think it's a good buy, and bunch of reasons as to why I think something like this is like something that nobody else is doing, right? And with that being said, I just wanted to also talk a little bit of why I think those cards are undervalued, right? So for instance, if you had, let's use that same example, that Bernie Williams card, right? If you had, let's say, bought the card for, let's say, I don't know, $5-10 or something like that as an example, then you have to get it signed. He's probably charges, I would say, $80-$100. Maybe you might be able to get him like maybe slightly cheaper if he does like a certain signing or things like that. But you still have to pay for to get signings like that on cards, right? And with that being said, then you have to get the card authenticated, which now, if you want to do the dual grading, I believe it's almost like $100 just to do the dual grading, right? So my example is you almost have to factor in the cost of the autograph, the cost of the grading, and see what that signer is charging specifically to do even something like that in the future, right? If you go to the Nationals, some of these guys are charging $200, $300, $400 just for an autograph with no authentication included or anything, and no grading or nothing, right? And then you have to pay for that eventually later on if you want to maximize your value, right? So I think these cards, there's so many of them out there that are already graded, like let's say 9 card 10 auto that you can buy for like $50, or you can get like even like a 10-10 of another guy for like 100 or 150 or 200. And depending on the player, it doesn't mean the guy has to be a Hall of Famer, or it doesn't mean that a person doesn't want him. I think something like that over time goes up in value, because it's kind of like sooner or later people are going to realize that you can't get these cards much cheaper than what everybody is selling them for, right? So I think something like this is just like only going to like take off even more. Not a lot of people know about the signed slabbed cards. It's just like people aren't familiar with them. They don't realize how low the pops are on them, and I think that's something that potentially becomes a bigger trend where, more people start finding out about it sooner. More people are going to start buying them. People are going to realize the cost of like what some of these guys are charging. So it's a combination of all these things together as to why, I think it's a good buy. But I'm going to try to post more about those again soon, and inform, more people about them for sure. But let's transition now to some football. This week, we're not going to preview any actual players as far as like who I think is going to have like a breakout year or anything. I did want to profile 2 specific players, though, about the upcoming Hall of Fame vote for the committee, right? So each year there's a senior ballot that they select one. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's 2 players for the what's called senior committee vote for the NFL. So this isn't like the guys that like are on the actual like Hall of Fame ballot. It's like a totally separate thing where it's called like a senior committee vote. So last year, I believe it was the wide receiver that we posted about in the Raiders. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he got in from the senior vote last year, and I got it now. It's Cliff Branch. So he got in last year from the senior vote, and we had posted about how you could have bought his card early. I believe it was late last year that you could have bought his card in like a PSA 6 for like a really good buy, and somebody else scooped it up as soon as we posted it, right? But this year, the 2 cards that I'm zeroing in on that I'm trying to buy for, let's say, from now until let's say when they announce it, which is probably, I think, the week before the Super Bowl. So it's usually announced like in January. But so since we still have some time, since it's August and January is about 4 or 5 months away, the 2 cards are the Randy Gradisher 1976 Topps. Try to get that card in a PSA 8. They go for about 50, 60, 65 range. I have seen some autograph versions as well. just not the dual graded, but it's just like authentic only. And those are about, like, I would say like $70, $75. But I would probably in this case prefer the actual PSA 8 copy with no autograph. But let's say if like you can't find any PSA 8s, the autograph version isn't bad either. I do think he gets in the Hall of Fame this year from the senior committee vote. So I think he will get in for sure. The other guy that has been on my radar for the last couple of years, but it's becoming a very tough card to find as well too, is the PSA 8 Ken Anderson, 1973 Topps. Very tough card to find. PSA 8s, they range, I would say, in the 100 to maybe like 125 range. Depends on the day. So, if you have to take the next step down and let's say get a PSA 7, that's not bad either. I do think these cards essentially could both double in value if both of these guys get in the Hall of Fame, just because they're such high grade. They have, let's say, they're becoming tougher to find for sure, as far as like, you don't see them that much on eBay. You don't see them on like different sites that you can buy cards on. But these are cards to look for, like, let's say at card shows. Look for them on eBay the next couple of weeks or the next couple of months. I do think they both are good short-term and both long-term investments, like for either your collection or for possibly to resell as well. I did want to mention one other thing too, as we have a few more minutes left, is that I will be at the East Coast National in Mahwah, New Jersey, next week, or not this coming weekend, the weekend after. I believe it's the last weekend in August, so I will be set up with my dad there, and we will be selling some cards, trading, buying. So I will do a promotion about that show. Probably sometime next week I'll announce that we're gonna be there and things like that. But as we have a few more minutes left too, I did want to share some of my graded results that I got back. I don't have the actual cards in front of me, but I did hit on a Alexi Lafreniere PSA 10 Young Guns and PSA 9. So I'm debating if I want to hold on to one or not, or sell them both. I do think he's very young still and has a lot of upside to get better. So this year he'll be entering his third year. So I think this year should be the tell if he's going to be the superstar that people were hoping he was going to be. So we'll see. So far, as I've been watching, he's more of an assist guy rather than a big scorer, which is okay. But this year could be the big jump for him. One other one too I did hit on was a Anthony Simons Pink Ice PSA 10, which I believe it's around $130, $150. I think Simons will have a good year as well too. I think he's really young. I think he's only 23. I did get a 10 on that. I'm not sure if I'll hold on to that yet either, or if I'll sell that one as well. The other one I did hit on too was a Buster Posey Topps rookie. They're around 175, 200. So I'm debating if I want to hold that maybe for my collection, or either sell that one as well too. As far as some other guys too, this order was going back all the way from, let's say, early 2021. The one that I'm kind of, I guess, disappointed in was I had a Prism 2016 Michael Thomas. That one got a PSA 9. I thought it easily would have gotten a 10. So you never know. Sometimes some of this stuff you have to like resubmit. Sometimes like if you hit a certain number of 10s, you only can get like you can't get any more depending on how many were in your order, no matter how good of condition the card was in. So, I don't think sometimes everyone knows that. So if you submit, let's say, 30 cards and you get like 20 10s, that's actually really good. And it's rare to honestly get more than that, I would say, in like one specific order, especially if you're doing newer stuff. But I'm trying to think if I had any other cards that really stick out. I am waiting for one card too from an order that I bought. In early 2021, I talked about the rare 2001 Holo Harry Potter card. And that card is still very relatively affordable. Even in like a PSA 9, it can be bought for around $150. And people don't realize that that is one of Harry Potter's only holos, like in his first one ever. And then his only other card from 2001 is a sticker. I believe that's a sticker holo also. I'm waiting on that card. It's like the one I'm talking about is a holo. It's a horizontal. And I'm waiting on that card. Possibly it could get a 9. It could get a 10. But we'll see. It should be here within the next month. So I'll do a reveal when I do get that and see how that plays out. But after we have a couple of minutes, let's talk a little baseball, a little quick update on the Yankees too. We did spend a lot of time on Judge. Right now, the Yankees are not playing as well as they were. I believe they are 1-8 since the trade deadline. And it's been about a month and a half where they really kind of have hit a wall. Combination of, their bullpen falling apart a little bit, the starting pitching not being as consistent, some injuries in the lineup. Obviously they lost Carpenter. Obviously they lost Stanton's been out a while. Some hitters have gone cold. Gleyber Torres. Donaldson has been up and down. Hicks has been up and down. Not much from him. Judge has really carried his team. LeMahieu has been consistent. Not much from IKF either. I'm not sure why he's playing as much as he's playing. He has 0 home runs, only 30 RBIs. So not great, and batting about 270. Played a pretty average shortstop. I think Trevino has exceeded expectations at the catching spot, especially given the offense that he's given them, and all the defense that he's given them too has definitely helped. Rizzo has exceeded expectations. He has almost 30 homers. He has missed some games with like some back injuries and things like that, but overall still having a very good year production wise. Stanton's year has been kind of like okay, nothing spectacular. Missed some games. He is getting a little older, so I think last year so far was like definitely a better year for Stanton than this year. The biggest concern for me right now too is Nestor Cortez is approaching the highest innings he's ever thrown. So how does that play a factor heading into the postseason? How do they manage his innings? We'll have to wait and see. Tyone, not playing great either. Been kind of so since like the end of May. So the pitching hasn't really been there. Montez, who they got from the A's, shaky in his first start. Hopefully, he can turn it around and, help, the Yankees, like, be it worth it for why they got him. And, they did give a lot of talent from him. So we'll have to wait and see what he does. Clay Holmes is a big concern. It looks like his sinker is moving too much and he lost feel for the pitch. So they have to get him back on track. You might want to slot Chapman back in the closer role for sure. And obviously they lost Michael King. That was a big loss, and they didn't really replace him. So it's almost like they need to get back to playing better baseball. And this is the time to figure it out now before October rolls around, because if you're struggling heading into October, that's not going to be a good sign. You want to get some of these guys back to their potential and start playing well. But yeah, thanks again, guys, for tuning in to episode 4, and we'll be back next week for episode 5. Thank you.